Hi there, Jeff here from the Wetsuit Centre, talking to you today about the Rip Curl Flashbomb series for winter 2013. So we're looking at the Flashbomb, which has been a real popular suit over the last year in terms of the summer suit, the 3.2, and the winter suit, the 5.3 as well. Won Wetsuit of the Year award from the SEMA Wetsuit Awards, and it's a very prestigious award, and it's gone through to previous winners such as XL Drylock and the O'Neill Psycho Freak. So they don't take it lightly, and it's been won for a good reason. Basically, the Flashbomb, with the new sort of technology, the flash dry lining, has proven to be probably one of the warmest and certainly the driest suit, the suit that dries the quickest, but one of the warmest and most flexible winter suits and summer suits on the market. And so if it's not broke, you don't fix it, you just refine it basically. So that's what they've done for 2012 into 2013. We do this suit in a 4.3 and in a 5.3 and a few different colourways as well. So Rip Curl are all about colour. They definitely have sort of a good sort of array of colour. They've got fanning colours and the Wilco colours here, I believe. And yeah, really good looking wetsuit, as you can see. We've got the white and red, which I believe is the fanning colours, and maybe yellow and white as well. And then you've got the Wilco colours over here, so look really great. In terms of what's different between last year and this year, if you're familiar with the Flashbomb, basically it did have what we call like liquid taping on the seams before. So it's worth mentioning, so if you're just sort of looking to see what the differences are, basically they've dropped the liquid taping, which is that normal sort of rubber sealing over the seams. Okay, they did have that on the outside before, and on the inside they have this standard, well, the new E3 taping. They've dropped the liquid taping. The reason they've done that is because it weighs the suit down and it is a little bit restrictive. Adds a bit more durability and obviously more likelihood that less likelihood that any water is going to get into the seams. It makes it more sort of waterproof basically. But with the E3 taping, basically they are pretty confident, and I think they're probably right, that you don't need the liquid taping. There's no water going to come in through these seams. They're well sealed with a glued and blind stitching process, and then you've got that E3 taping on top of that as well, which is much more comfortable to the skin than the liquid taping, and a lot more flexible as well. So, because you've lost that liquid taping, it's added a lot more flexibility to the suit. So instead of being restricted by that rubber across the seams, it should feel great now. And obviously with the seams, they're glued and blind stitched, so stitched halfway through, and then you have the E3 taping on the inside, which I showed to you, and which you'll be able to see further when I turn the suit inside out. Nice and flat against the skin, really, really pliable and flexible. All of the seams are obviously bent and contoured to make sure that they don't restrict you when the suit is being moved. So a huge amount of flexibility. Now with this particular suit you do get the E3 neoprene the whole way through, which has become known as pretty much one of the most flexible neoprenes on the market. So a huge amount of flex right the way through the suit. 100% E3 without liquid taping, and E3 taping on the inside means a huge amount of flex, especially for a winter suit. I mean, that's fantastic. Moving on further, you've got all the little touches you would expect with this suit. On the outside I can show you, you've got like a dipping around the collar here to give you more four-way stretch properties, and the upper part of the suit, so it moves up and down as well as left and right with the sort of with the cut of the suit there as well. And you get that around the back, you get that panel here, just give you stretch right the way through, and they even do it with a smooth skin. No stitching around the bum to give you more movement around the lumbar. As you see, E3 the whole way through, and then you even get some even more stretchable material as well, which is E3 plus in certain parts of the suit, I believe, as well. So just to give you real loads of flex just where you need it. You've got the key pocket there, basically that will allow you to use any sort of non-electric key. So great for people that live by the sea, you can just use their door key. And then you've got the standard things that you'd expect, which is the Duraflex knee pad, crypto knee pads, whatever you want to call them. Slightly puffed out, basically, to make them fit the knee better. More designed to sort of mould with the knee. Very durable, won't make sure the suit won't wear through in the typical sort of areas that suffer from stress, which is the knees. Okay, minimal panelling, so you can imagine they want to use as little amount of neoprene and stitching, should I say, and seam as possible to make sure there's unrestricted movement again. So they think very carefully about where they place the seams to make sure, again, that stretch isn't compromised at all. This particular suit is a chest zip, which basically means the zip comes across the chest here. That gets rid of the need for a zip on the back, which makes the back panel more flexible, and also makes it less likely to water to come into the suit because you've got an unbroken collar around the neck. So you don't need to buckle that up together. So when you duck dive or fall off or anything like that, there's less likely chance of any water being flushed through. The way that they really sort of enhance that comes with this chest zip system. If I open it up, basically, as you can see, the chest zip system goes up and over the head, and the inside pieces of neoprene are brought up very high. So for if any reason you didn't get any water through the collar, instead of going through the suit, it's met with the actual underpart of the wetsuit here, which is brought up nice and high, so if any water comes through, then these pieces of neoprene should then guide it out to the outside of the chest zip, and then it drains out through these drain holes, front and back basically. So instead of the water coming into the suit, it goes out of the suit basically instead. You're always going to get some water in the suit, especially if you fall off at speed, it's inevitable, but this sort of technology keeps it to the minimum. One other good thing about this suit is basically you've got the toggle, just up over here, so if the fit is slightly out, you've got that toggle just to pull it tight, make sure the chest zip maintains a good good fit around the neck basically. You've got that smooth skin there, just create a better seal against the neoprene as well. One thing that Rip Curl is a little bit of a downside with the suit in my opinion is the zip. The zip is just a standard plastic zip. We don't have too many problems with it, having said that, but it's not as sort of resistant or as hard wearing as something like the PK zip or the YK zip, which is sort of spring-loaded metal zip. But it does mean that it's non-corrosive. So that zip is basically, because it's plastic and everything like that, you're not going to have any problem with sea salt sort of seizing up or anything like that. But it might be a bit less durable than the standard sort of PK zip or YK zip. So that is the outside of the suit. If we turn it inside out, we will take you inside. As I say, this is the 5.3 we've got over here. This is the 4.3 that we've got here for this forthcoming season. And on the inside is the real sort of where you find the technology that made this suit so popular and so good basically, and a bit of an award winner. So you can see all of that sort of E3 taping on the suit. Rolling on the seams, and then you've got the critical taping over the top of that as well. And any stress points basically where the suit might come apart on the seams, they just sort of put some of that critical tape on there as well, just to make sure it doesn't fall apart and you get a longer shelf life out of the suit. So this material is what we call the flash dry lining. It was exclusive to Rip Curl last year, but this coming season you're going to see this in lots of different forms across all the manufacturers because it's no longer exclusive to Rip Curl. But having said that, they have patented this particular design. So basically that full furriness is exclusive to Rip Curl. And what that is basically it's a polypro material, which is then backcombed to create sort of that furry, non-absorbent property there. What that does is it actually pulls moisture out of the panel into the fibres onto the top of the suit here, and obviously because the water's being pulled out and it's actually just held within these sort of tiny fibres, it dries out very quickly. So what the brag is from Rip Curl is that it dries out in 15 minutes. So it's extremely quick, and it's much nicer getting into a warm, dry wetsuit than a cold, wet one, especially in the months of sort of December and January in the UK. Also, because of that furry material, it does seem to be a bit warmer as well. It seems to be better at insulating you, from my experience wearing one of these in the winter we've just had. That sort of thermal lining runs right the way through the suit, right the way down to the leg, even down to the ankle. So you can imagine what that's going to do in terms of keeping you warmer. Any heat that tries to leave your body, instead of being lost through the cold, wet neoprene, is going to be retained inside the suit by that furry, thermal-lined material, which is basically very similar to the stuff they use in like thermal underwear, that kind of stuff. And as you know, it makes a marked difference in terms of keeping you warmer. So that's pretty much everything going on with the Rip Curl Flashbomb. There's the 4.3 and the 5.3. There will be another suit coming out this year as well, which is the Rip Curl Flashbomb Pro Plus, I believe, which is a fair bit more expensive than the standard Flashbomb, but has some added benefits to add even more flexibility, but obviously we'll be doing a separate review on that. But for now, this is the Rip Curl Flashbomb for winter 2012 into 2013.